Welcome back, everyone. This is the Comic Scoop, and this week we are featuring the issues from February 16, 2022. And the spotlight of the month, 10 Lives of Wolverine, issue 3. Now, this right here is the Lives of variant cover done by Kyle Charles and Rochelle Rosenberg. Really love all the different generations of Wolverine and that very bright color in the background. So this starts off with Wolverine talking about the downfalls of immortality, how he has, been fighting his entire life, and the cycle of violence never ends. The only thing that lasts is blood. And he says this in my favorite panel, or favorite spread, I should say. Yeah, it's really amazing. So this issue goes between three time periods. 1900s, Wolverine fighting Omega Red on this ship with one of Charles Xavier's ancestors. Omega Red possesses this white whale. It's pretty awesome. We then go into post-war Japan, where he's fighting Itsu, his wife and mother of Daken, with the fear of killing her, that it might erase Daken from existence. And Romulus shows up out of nowhere. But not really out of nowhere. In the original timeline, this is when he comes to try to kill her the first time. Wolverine beats her, and sometime later is when he gets the job done. And that's found in issue 40 of was it Origins and Beginnings, I think. And I have here Wolverine Origins issue 30, where it recaps those events. And Wolverine is reminded by Xavier that the Winter Soldier may have been who pulled the trigger on your wife, but it was Romulus who actually killed her and stole Daken. Original Sin is a really cool storyline. Daken, the son, is out for vengeance, trying to search for his father because he is raised believing that Wolverine killed his mother. And just like Wolverine, he was raised to be a killing machine. And the next timeline in this is in Colombia, which is closer towards modern day. And it leads into a very intense cliffhanger, which we'll leave for next week, or in 2 weeks when we do the next Lives of. So next issue coming up is Cloaked, issue 3 out of 4. This one's been really cool. We get to meet Jeffrey Walton, aka the Lunatic, who's this version of the Joker, and he mentions that his origin of how he watched the Sentinel murder this man who was part of the underworld and part of like the underworld of crime. And then this red ball rolls into play, and a girl comes after it, and the Sentinel shoots her too. So Walton has been wanting to expose the Sentinel for his crimes, but he was incarcerated, and the lie of him being a murdering bank robber was put out. And then Jake has to leave suddenly because security comes. Next morning, Walton is found dead, just like all the other people Jake has interviewed. Next to last issue, very intense. Now we move on to another second to finale, Knighted, issue 4 out of 5. This whole run's been cool. We start off with a little more of the Bone Man's backstory, how he murdered his father and his original abuser. That's how he became who he is. Now Bob, with the help of his assistant Ash taking control of the suit, beats up all the grinders at the hideout and discovers a map of this March for Dignity that they may be maybe planning some kind of attack. We also get the origin of Chase Black and how he became the knight originally. And it's pretty cool. Ends up with him stopping a shooting, and his nephew sees him, which breaks the #1 rule of heroes. Go on to Crimson Cage, issue 3. This was really cool. The best friend, Terry, is set up to win the next championship. And on a drive up to Tulsa, they have a really heartwarming moment of the practicing the champion match. Terry does not know what's about to happen to him. He's stopped in the middle of the road on his way to Tulsa, and he's beaten brutally to death. Chuck Frenzy is not happy at all, but his championship is secured, which is reassured by his lady. And through his guilt, he sees Terry in the audience. He brushes it off, tries to pretend that nothing's going on, and in the middle of the battle, he sees him again. Guilt is definitely coming to him. Now, my next issue is Until My Knuckles Bleed. This is done by Happy Tank and Behemoth Comics, combination there. And it's created by Victor Santos, writer and artist. He also did, what was it called? Polar, which is now on Netflix. Now, it starts off showing the highlight of the 90s, where all these superheroes were in action. And now we're in modern day Detroit, following a former hero named the Damager, who is now a bouncer at this strip club. We get some nice little world building moments in this issue, like, where is it? Damager talks about these marks that he has that are from old insertions of his tech armor. Really curious about that. We get to see this really cool bar with other former heroes now in their golden years. Really curious to see where this is going to go. Alright, now going back to a Marvel comic. This is Superior 4. Otto Octavius is not looking so good with his other Autos. After they have killed a version of themselves, they are fighting over the ramifications of what that might lead to when they are sucked into their bridge into the multiverse, leaving behind the kill switch. And while they're here, they come face to face with the Otto Octavius from Earth 8968. He is not only the Sorcerer Supreme, but also their Doctor Doom. So he has all the magical abilities here, and tech abilities. The other Autos help out 616 Auto and try to fight the Superior Octopus, is how he refers to himself. But they are no match, and so they all pledge their allegiance to him, and together they defeat our Dr. Octopus from 616 and rip off his metal arms. Oh boy, let's see what happens with Otto. Alright, keeping up with Marvel, we're going to be doing the newest Iron Fist issue 1. This is standard cover right here. It's been real cool. Now a quick little recap. In the previous Iron Fist series, Heart of the Dragon, Okoye from Wakanda has been embodied with the chi of the spider dragon, and in this issue, Daniel Rand passes over his Iron Fist powers to Okoye in order for her to defeat the villain and save the world. And now, Daniel Rand's no longer the Iron Fist. And we start off this issue with the egg of Shao-Lao cracking. And Daniel Rand is next, fighting these demons, and he's saved by a mysterious new Iron Fist. We then learn that this Iron Fist is a guy named Lin Li, who first appeared in 2018. It was in the Warriors of Three Sovereigns, and he was known as the Swordsman. He was part of a group, Agents of Atlas, with members like Shang-Chi, and he has this magical sword that his father left him before disappearing. That sword was broken with the death of the Sorcerer Supreme, which could be found in the Death of Doctor Strange story. Now, his death had released a demon from imprisonment, and that shattered Lin's sword. And while he was dying, Shao-Lao saved him and gave him, I guess, the Chi of the Dragon. The rest of this is more world building, getting to know our new character, and we'll see what happens with him. Alright, now moving on to a final Marvel of the week. It's Venom issue 3. This is the X-Gwen cover done by Russell Dauterman. And also, speaking of X-Gwen, I got the Hulk with her as Rogue. Really love this one. And then she's Dazzler in that. This one's cool. We got a lot more backstory of Meridus. So Meridus happens to be a King of Black as well. We get to see the garden that we were first introduced in Venom #1, and learn that Meridus is also a King of Black, and there's several others here. And we also get to see the thing that I was really interested about was back in issue 1, there was 2 different Eddie Brocks, and it is revealed that the physical Eddie Brock that we saw was Meridus himself. The plot was to get Dylan to the motel to watch his father's death and have him bond to the Venom symbiote. And it's not really sure why. Very interested to see what's happening here. Now, we only have a couple issues left. We are moving on to Animal Castle issue 3. Now, this is a wraparound cover, which I am a sucker for. I love wraparound covers. They're so cool. And this one's neat. I couldn't find the name of the artist anywhere, and the art style of this isn't too different from the interior art. So I guess it's safe to say this is also done by Felix Delep. This was a fun read. The rat from the last issue has now got Miss B and Caesar to plot against their president and cause a rebellion through humiliation. They paint these daisies everywhere in order to remind them of the death of Daisy. Final issue of the week is Reign #2, produced or published by Image Comics, written by Joe Hill, and got 2 here. I didn't see the issue in my stack, like when I collected my box, and I saw this variant cover on the shelf, so I picked that up. And then once I got home, I realized I overlooked that they had the standard covered in there. So I guess I got the both of Best Worlds. I really like the shadow there, but you know, in all actuality, the standard cover is probably the best. I really love like the glass needle, the crystal needle there. So the ending of the last issue, main character Honeysuckle watches Yolanda, her girlfriend, and Yolanda's mother die in this downpour of these like crystal needles. Everyone who's outside gets caught in it and dies. In this opening page, Honeysuckle mentions after moving Yolanda's body in, she plucked the needles out, which took 4 hours the first night, and she lost count after over 800. Honeysuckle decides she's going to go to Denver, and they're just outside Boulder, which is about 30 miles. She can't drive because the roads are covered in these needles, so she's walking. And encounters these cultists from a cult called the Church of the Seventh Dimensional Christ. Their leader says something about how he predicted this rain to come. Really love this spread here. Through her travels, Honeysuckle sees how everyone was impacted by the needles. And she even says she feels a little guilty with how she felt about it. But I really love there's like these separate panels here, and her, like Honeysuckle just like overseeing all of them. It's really cool. She finds this guy outside who is trying to like, I don't know, rescue his cat underneath this bus. But then the storm clouds come and she has to take cover. And when she comes back, he's no longer there. She suspects that he might have died. But then, she is attacked by these cultists. And their leader believes that she's going to go to Denver to tell the FBI that he predicted the sweater. So they're going to take her back, but she's rescued by the man she found. So I guess the two of them are going to be traveling together for the rest of this. Neat story. Very painful for sure. Well, that's everything, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry about the couple jump cuts there. Phone was being really weird with space and I had to get a little creative. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about some of these other comics that I featured, I can speak more about them, the ones that I've read at least. Any other questions about the things that were highlighted this week, I can go more in depth on later on. Didn't want to make this video as long as the last one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and keep on reading. I'll talk to you all next week.